Here we go. So we're doing the first spiral review, pages 1, 2, and 3. It's in the back of your math notebook on page 121. And we're going to be doing 3 pages a day. So if you do it, then you can tune in to get the answers to make sure you're doing it right. And if you have questions, come and ask me. So number 1 was A, 1/5. Number 2, the best answer is C, between 80 and 120 degrees. Number 3, Jenny is filling boxes, and she's going to need 14 boxes to fit them all in. Number 4, the rectangle has an area. Its length is 10. How do I figure out the width? Well, I know that the area is the length times the width. So if I divide, or I ask myself, what do I times 10 by to get to 30? It would be 3. So B, 4 is B. 5 is an interesting one because they have you fill in this chart. So what is the value of 8 times 1/2? 8 halves is going to make 4 wholes. So you can write it as filling in the very last box with a 4, or you could do the second to last box with a 4 and the last box with a decimal, or you could do the third box from the right with a 4 and then a decimal and then a 0. There's different ways to fill that in, but it should be 4.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about problem number 5.
I know, but problem number
what? I don't get it.
So
yes, I do, but
you'll see that you could do it like that, or you could fill it in like this. I could do the 4 here and make this a decimal point. It could be 4 point, like that. Or I could put the 4 in the third box from the right, the decimal in the next box, and the 0 in the last box. When they give you these boxes, you need to make sure that you've represented the number accurately, but there are different ways to fill them in. So be careful with those.
I'm just supposed to put a 4 on the top right.
When you have a box like this, you're actually supposed to fill in the number underneath it. So for example, in this case, if I just wanted to do a 4 in the far right box, I would just fill in the 4 on the little things and then write the 4 in the box. So the 4 would go in the top, and then I would fill in the circle that says 4 down here. So like that, put the 4 at the top. It's kind of an old-fashioned way. I don't think that they have you do that very much anymore. That was back when it was paper and pencil and had machines to record it. I don't think they do that very much, but they've got a few of those on here. All right, we're turning to Spiral Review 2, page 122. Complete the problem, show your work. Number 1, the product of the following expression is B, 2 and 2/5.
2 and 2/5?
Because you do 2 times 6 is 12, 12/5. 12 divided by 5 is 2 with 2/5 left over. Number 2 is C, 32.916. This is a place value one. They said the value of the 9 is 10 times 0.09. And we know that when we times things by 10, then the decimal moves over. So it's 0.9. Number 3, select the decimal point for each number name. So 78,000, you see the THS at the end. That means not thousands, but thousandths should be A. And the second one, 708 thousandths is right here. It's the last one here, H. Number 4, Hayden needs 5 pounds of potatoes. How many ounces are there in 5 pounds? Oh, I'm going to need my conversion table. Now, I told you it's in this book. So if you look back a couple of pages to here, then I need to know how many ounces in a pound. Oh, let's see here. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. There it is. So I know I'm going to have to times every pound by 16 to figure out my ounces. I have 5 pounds. 5 times 16 is 80. This next one, number 5, is one of these ones where we're filling it in. Sandy has 5/8 cups of flour. She uses 3/8. How much does she have left? Well, she has 2/8. And you can fill that in a variety of ways. You could
What
change.
was the answer for number 4?
What's that?
What was the answer to number 4? I didn't hear it.
80 ounces. Number C.
Okay.
Number 5, you're going to have 2/8 left. And you can fill that in. Do you see how they have the little slashes like for a fraction? So if you put a 2 in the third box from the left, and then a slash, and then an 8. So I'm going to fill in the 2, I'm going to fill in the slash, and I'm going to fill in the 8. And your answer could look like this. Hopefully neater.
What? Wait, you put the 2/8?
Filled in the 2. Yep, because I needed to make it 2/8. I did the divided by fraction and the 8. You could also turn it into a decimal and write your answer as a decimal, but that's another step, and we really haven't done that much of that, so don't worry too much about that. We are on to spiral review 3. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, I see we're ready. Number 1, select all the models that have been shaded to represent fractions equivalent to 8/12. Well, honestly, if you took a piece of paper or drew a line, we have 8/12 right at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 12. And then honestly, you can just look at it and say which ones are the same. But we could also divide it in half. So we know 4/6 that the top is the same. We know that the middle one, 2/3, is the same. So you should have A, C, and E. Easy peasy, right?
B and D are just sad.
I missed something.
Oh no. Number 2, which expression has the same value as the digit 7 in the number 25,971? So we need to get it to equal 70. Well, 10 times 7 is 70, but times 2 is too much, so A's out. 10 plus 7 is not 70. 10 times 7 is 70, times 1 is 70. So C is the correct answer. And 1 times 10 is 10, plus 7 is 17. No. C. Number 3 says, select the response that shows 7.812 written in expanded form. So you need 7 times 1, and there's only 2 of them that have that, B and D. Then if you look at the 8, that's 8 times 1/10, right? And there's only one answer that has that. So now we're done with B being the correct answer.
It's B.
B. Do you work your way from the left to the right on one of those numbers, figuring out if it's the same? Number 4.
The next one's D.
There are 27 open spots to compete in the fishing tournament, Javen. Each boat can hold 5 people. How many boats are needed? Well, you're going to take 27 people, put 5 of them in each boat. You're going to have 5 boats with 2 people left over, so you're going to need a 6th boat. 6 is your answer, D. And the last one, Janie drew a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means a 4-sided shape with 4 right angles, so that could be a square or a rectangle, and 2 sets of parallel sides of unequal length. Which quadrilateral did Janie draw? Use the space below to draw and name the quadrilateral. So it has to have 2 sides that are equal and 2 other sides that are equal so that they're parallel. What is that shape? Anybody know?
Like something like
It said you have to name it. It's a rectangle. Rectangle.
it's weird because I drew a square and somehow it's a rectangle.
Well, it has to have 2 uneven sides though, so they can't be the same length. Right? So that was the trick. For tomorrow, please check out pages 4 and 5 and 6. I haven't done them yet, but I'm going to start right now. Okay? Any questions on what we just covered?